somebody calls on the phone, and it's Damon Bradley, and he's getting ready to go to Italy. And I guess he like knew the husband or something. So she starts to get really excited and actually just up and flies to Italy to try and find Damon Bradley. And the whole movie is just kind of based around her in Italy trying to find this guy that she's supposed to be with. Super cheesy. Robert Downey Jr. was wonderful. He was young and very handsome. What was I gonna say? Anyway, it's a super You're right.